The Hartog Committee 1928 defined backward class in their glossary as caste or classes which are educationally backward. So the first definition of the backward class was in relation to education. So all those classes which were educationally backward were categorized as backward classes. In 1930, the State Committee of Bombay recommended that the depressed classes should be used in the sense of untouchables, a usage which will coincide with existing common practice. And the State Committee of Bombay in 1930 recommended that the depressed classes term should be used in the sense of untouchables. Then the committee proposed that the wider groups should be called the backward classes, which should be subdivided into depressed classes, that is untouchables, aboriginals and hill tribes. So the committee further suggested that the backward classes should be subdivided into depressed classes consisting of untouchables, aboriginals, Adivasis and the hill tribes. Other backward classes including wandering tribes, Banjara जिसे कहते हैं. The constitutional provisions regarding backward classes have been made, which includes the Article 15(4) of the Constitution provides that nothing shall prevent the state from making any special provision for the advancement of any socially and educationally backward class of citizens or for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. It means that the Constitution provides that the state can do whatever it wants to do for the advancement of the socially, educationally backward classes. The Article 16, subsection 4 of the Constitution states that nothing of Article 16 prevents the state from making any provision for the reservation of appointments or posts in favor of any backward class of citizen which in the opinion of the state is not adequately represented in service under the state. Means this article gives the power to the state to provide for reservation of appointments or posts in favor of any backward class of citizen in the state services. Article 46 of the Constitution deals with the promotion of educational and economic interests of scheduled castes. So this article promotes education and economic interest of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other weaker sections of the society and protection for them from social justice and all forms of exploitation, and they should be protected and social justice should be given to them and they should be protected from the exploitation. Article 340 states that the President may by order appoint a commission to investigate the conditions of backward classes and the report along with the memorandum explaining the action taken thereon to be laid before each House of Parliament. So Article 340 states that the President can order or appoint a commission to appoint a commission to investigate the conditions of backward classes and the report along with the memorandum explaining the action taken thereon to be laid before each House of Parliament. Means a commission will be appointed by the President to investigate the conditions of the backward classes, and then whatever, and even the commission will give the memorandum explaining the action taken thereon to be laid before each House of Parliament, that how to remove that particular problems that these classes are facing. As per Article 6 of Article 243D, as per Clause 6 of Article 243D, the legislature of the state is empowered to make provisions or reservation of seats of any panchayat or office of chairperson in the panchayats at any level in favor of backward classes of citizens. So according to Article 243D, subclause 6, clause 6, the legislature of the state, means the state legislature, has the powers to make provisions or reservation of seats of panchayat or office of chairperson in the panchayat at any level in favor of backward class. 6 of Article 243T, the legislature of the state is empowered to make provisions for reservation of seats in any municipality or office of chairpersons in municipalities in favor of backward classes citizens. So Article 243T, Clause 6 empowers the state legislature to make provisions for reservation of seats in municipalities or the office of the chairperson of municipality in favor of backward class citizens. Article 17 abolishes untouchability. Article 23 abolishes forced labor, and Article 45 mentions free and compulsory education, etc. Article 21A provides the right of education to all children between the age of 6 and 14. So these are the constitutional provisions for the betterment or the development, or say for safeguarding the social rights, political rights and educational rights of the backward classes. From the above provisions of Constitution, we can infer that the elements of backwardness are illiteracy, lack of education, poverty, exploitation of labor, non-representation in services, and untouchability. India's system of preferential treatment for disadvantaged sections of the population is popularly known as a policy of compensatory discrimination. Now, the preferences that are given to the disadvantaged section, that is the backward class, scheduled tribes, and so on. This type of policy or this system that is followed in India is termed as the policy of compensatory discrimination. Means they are that the government will provide some compensation on discrimination basis, upper and lower, privileged and underprivileged classes. Such policies entail systematic departure from norms of equality, but it is equality through unequal treatment in an unequal social structure. And such type of policies, they are the symptoms of inequality in the society. And this inequality is an unequal social structure, is in an unequal social structure. The preferential treatment is justifiable on the following grounds. Number one, preferential treatment is a guarantee against the persistence of discrimination in subtle and indirect form. Number two, the beneficial results of the preferential treatment promote social integration, because all those who are being discriminated, they will live in unity. It seeks to mitigate the systematic and cumulative deprivation suffered by deprived groups in the past. Compensatory discrimination in Indian Constitution may be described as a way of reducing social disparities by creating special opportunities for some in addition to equal opportunities created for all. So this compensatory discrimination, this policy gives special to some persons, some special person, and not to all. The term backward classes is used to describe all the weaker sections of the society. It includes scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes.